From the CAL FIRE Information Center, I'm Daniel Berlant with the CAL FIRE report for Friday, January 10th, 2025. More than 8,000 personnel, including firefighters, law enforcement officers, and emergency support personnel, continue to battle and support the ongoing historic wildfires in Southern California. Now, despite continued red flag warning conditions for critical fire weather across much of the Southland, firefighters are making progress on a number of fronts. As you can see from our incident map here on our website, there are 5 large wildfires burning across mostly in Los Angeles counties. But in the past 24 hours, there were 6 new wildfires, all of which have either had their forward rate of spread stopped or have been fully contained. Let's talk about a few of the large wildfires. Again, this is all information available, validated information on our website where you can see the fire perimeters themselves, the latest information on them. You can even see the aircraft, evacuation warnings, and all the other details you are going to need to stay up to date with these fires. On the Palisades fire, over 20,000 acres have burned so far. On the map here, you can very easily select evacuation orders and see exactly where evacuation orders continue to remain in effect on this fire. And despite firefighters, again, making progress, there are still evacuation orders across really the region. You can also select active air assets and see exactly where our CAL FIRE aircraft and helicopters are flying. Obviously, when the peak of the winds were blowing, hurricane-like conditions are not only not safe, they are not effective for firefighting aircraft. But today, with those more favorable weather conditions, there are air tankers and helicopters actively battling this wildfire. The Palisades fire, though, sadly, has grown to the 3rd most destructive wildfire in our state's history, with likely 5,300 structures. Now, that can be all types of buildings, homes, outbuildings combined. 5,300 structures, again, making it a 3rd destructive fire. You can also on our website check out 3D maps where you can go in, again, zoom in exactly into different areas of the fire and see exactly where your home may be or where the devastation may occur. Now, this map does not yet show validated structure information, but it does let you at least see an up-to-date idea of where the perimeters lie and where the evacuation warnings remain. And again, this map is 3D. You can see here, we're over on the Eaton fire now in the Pasadena, Altadena areas where this fire has been really held at check to just under 14,000 acres. 3% contained, so firefighters are making progress, but again, a very, very destructive fire. And again, as we kind of zoom in here in the 3D map, you can see exactly where this fire is burning, just at the upper edge of the 210 corridor. Now, on this map, you can also see live video from our camera systems, Alert California, all integrated onto this website, so just a really good source of information. But going back to the statewide map here, the real big news here was we had a fire breakout yesterday in the West Hills area of Los Angeles and Ventura counties called the Kenneth Fire. Now, it has been held at about 1,000 acres. 35% contained, but the forward spread has been stopped. This was a fire right up in this area here. I'll zoom in on the map to kind of give you a better idea of where it is. And again, you can see here's one of the CAL FIRE helicopters right now flying over Topanga, another one just over Calabasas. So again, this is such a great resource to actually be able to see where our aircraft are. Now, of course, on the ground here are thousands of firefighters on the front lines battling this fire. But again, the Hidden Hills area, a big scare yesterday, but an aggressive initial attack has stopped the forward spread of this fire. Again, go to fire.ca.gov for all of this information right at your fingertips. I want to talk a little bit about some of the destruction that has occurred. Sadly, our initial damage assessment has found that between the Eaton and the Palisades fire, likely over 10,000 structures have been damaged or destroyed. Now, those numbers are preliminary, and they could include anything from a home to a shed to an outbuilding. So we are working to validate with our damage inspectors on the ground exactly what was damaged or destroyed. But you can see from this video, in some of the pictures, it's just complete destruction. In some of them, people see trees and other vegetation and wonder, well, why are the trees still standing, but everything else is destroyed? In an urban setting like we have seen in Altadena and parts of North Pasadena, a conflagration occurs. Imagine the wildfire sending embers a half mile, a mile, raining down on homes. First, those embers have to find a weak spot in the construction or something flammable, usually within the first 5 feet of the home. And if it is able to ignite that home or that surrounding vegetation in what we call zone 0, the immediate first 5 feet of the home, it can spread to the home. And then once one home burns, it just follows fence lines or other pathways that does travel the fire from home to home to home, and that's where you get just complete destruction of a neighborhood, but the trees are still standing. But in this, you can see one home standing, but everything else destroyed. Well, why is that one home saved? It could have been firefighting intervention. Firefighters doing structure defense could have saved this home, but also this home may have built or retrofitted with home hardening items. So important why we talk about retrofitting in home hardening and also maintaining defensible space, the dead or dying vegetation around your home, in particular in that first zone, that zone 0, that first 5 feet, anything flammable. That is a new recommendation in the last several years. It does make a difference. And again, this is such a tragic scene, but we are working hard to validate exactly where these homes and the number and addresses and make that available to the public. Let's talk a little bit about the weather. A red flag warning remains in effect today for moderate to strong northeast winds. Now, it's really important to note, we were expecting a Santa Ana wind event. That usually is coming out of the desert. They are hot, they are dry, and they are really destructive winds. But really what we saw was heavy winds coming out of the north. Again, still causing the same effects, but probably not technically a Santa Ana wind event. Nonetheless, we are monitoring the weather conditions and expecting the winds to pick back up over this weekend. Now, again, a red flag warning does remain in effect through much of Southern California. What we're looking at, though, next week, we could actually see a Santa Ana wind event. In fact, a very high probability of a Santa Ana wind event, again bringing strong winds, gusty, destructive winds that, if any ignition occurs, could fan the fires. And so not only do we have firefighters, again, at all of these fires across the Southland, but we are continuing to pre-position resources. We have brought in hundreds of firefighters from other states, Oregon, Colorado, just to name a few, to make sure we have plenty of firefighters to continue to respond to the new fires that break out each and every day, while also ensuring, again, that firefighters are on the front lines to do structure defense and to stop these major wildfires. Now, with high fire danger again expected throughout the weekend and into next week, it is so important that all residents, but especially those in Southern California, take steps now to prevent sparking a wildfire. Now, these recent wildfire tragedies, though, are a reminder for all Californians to be ready for wildfire, yes, even in the month of January. To learn more, we have this great website, readyforwildfire.org. You can find preparedness tips on evacuation items. What should you take? What should you do ahead of a fire? But also the preparedness steps on how to create defensible space, how to harden your home against the embers of wildfires. All of things that maybe you don't think about normally until May or June or July, the typical peak of fire season. But here we are in drought conditions. Now is the time to still make sure that you are ready for wildfire. Now, again, for the latest information validated on the wildfires burning across California, make sure to visit our website, fire.ca.gov. That's the latest on the fire situation in California. I'm Daniel Berlant. Have a fire safe day.